I would like to ask the Chief Minister whether the FlyBe pension scheme is registered on the island, what the implications of the collapse of the airline are for members of the scheme, and if he will make a statement.
Call on the Chief Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The British Regional Airlines Group Pension Scheme, known as the Scheme, is registered and regulated by the Isle of Man Financial Services Authority as an authorised scheme under the Retirement Benefits Schemes Act 2000. The scheme was originally established by Manx Airlines in 1983 for its Isle of Man operations. As its business developed UK interests, UK members were added to the scheme. Consequently, it is both a tax-approved scheme in the Isle of Man in respect of its Isle of Man members and a United Kingdom registered pension scheme under the UK Finance Act 2006 in respect of UK members. The scheme is therefore also regulated by the UK's pension regulator. The scheme is not eligible to participate in the UK's Pension Protection Fund, PPF. Participation in the PPF is governed by UK law, which precludes a scheme from participating in the PPF if its main place of administration is not in the United Kingdom. The outcome for individual members is yet to be determined and is dependent upon a variety of factors. The trustees of the pension plan and their advisors are working to assess the individual member impact and the next steps for the plan. The scheme was established under an irrevocable trust, which was a fundamental requirement for registration, and that the assets in the scheme were wholly separate from the company and any creditors, and in consequence had not been lost to the members. Notwithstanding the last actuarial valuation, which assesses the fund's status on the plan, conducted as at the 31st of December 2018, indicates the scheme is in a deficit position. The plan had been funded in accordance with UK funding requirements, and we understand that the sponsoring employer has continued to meet the funding requirements in respect of this deficit up until the end of February 2020. The next payment is due at the end of March, and with FlyBe now in administration, the future of the plan and its funding is less certain. As at this date, the pension scheme has not been terminated and is not as yet being wound up. However, this is a fluid situation and can change quite quickly depending upon the outcome of the legal proceedings in respect of FlyBe. If it's declared insolvent, and obviously the decisions of the trustees. Now, I've been assured by the FSA that they continue to work closely with the trustees and the UK pension regulator to understand the impact of the FlyBe administration, and that the members of the plan are being kept apprised of developments as they emerge.
Supplementary question, Mr. Moorehouse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Chief Minister, for such a detailed answer. Are the figures currently available to show how many people there are being affected, how many of these individuals live on island, and how many island residents currently receive a pension from the scheme?
Chief Minister to reply.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, I don't have that information at this moment in time, but I will, of course, circulate it should I be. Obviously, it may well be confidential information. The scheme is not an element government scheme, it's an independent scheme, and therefore, if I'm allowed to circulate the information and I can get my hands on it, I will, of course, circulate to all honourable members.
Supplementary question, Ms. Castletown.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wonder if the Chief Minister could give a bit more information about the deficit on the pension scheme, which I think he said was paid by the employer up to February 2020. Was there any sort of formal guarantee by the employer that they would continue to fund any deficit? And if so, I mean, I suppose if not, why wasn't there? But if so, where would that rank in the list of creditors when it eventually gets resolved?
Chief Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And if I can remind all honourable members that this isn't a government scheme and therefore I'm reliant on the information given to me, but this is information that is in the public domain, so I'm confident I can read it out to you regarding the funding of the scheme. Connect Airways has engaged with the trustees to discuss ongoing scheme funding following the acquisition. This is when obviously it was bought out by Connect Airways. And has agreed in principle to a package of measures which will increase employer contributions and is designed in the view of Connect Airways and the trustees to provide sustainable funding for the Bragg post-acquisition and eliminate the scheme's deficit over time. In particular, it has been agreed in principle to bring forward the Bragg's actuarial valuation, and I should say Bragg, for those who didn't listen to my earlier speech, is British Regional Airlines Group. To bring forward the Bragg's actuarial valuation from the 31st of March 2019 to the 31st of December 2018 in order that a new schedule of contributions and recovery plan may be put in place within good time following the acquisition. B, that the contributions payable by FlyBe Limited to the Bragg for the first 3 years following the effective date of the new schedule of contributions and recovery plan will increase to £3 million per annum, with payments of at least £4.5 million per annum in the following years of the recovery plan, in both cases payable in equal monthly instalments. And C, that Connect Airways will guarantee the payment of the first 3 years of employer contributions, £9 million, into the Bragg, and that the scheme will have the benefit of a first-ranking charge over a property post-completion of the acquisition. Now, obviously, honourable members, these are details for the pension management to take into account and deal with, and therefore any further information or discussion really is all hypothetical.